a good bonk. And welcome to Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Jolene Ibanez, and I am your worship associate today. I'm joined by Reverend Sian Wiltshire, our minister, and Beth Syverson, our director of music ministries, and Karen Magoon Pearson, who is our director of religious education for children and youth, and we are welcoming you here this morning. We would also like to recognize the many volunteers who have helped to put this service together today. Yay, all up on the board. We respectfully recognize that our church property rests on Ahachiman and Tongva land. As Unitarian Universalists, we have many different beliefs, but we are one loving community. We are bound together not by a common set of rules or beliefs, but rather a covenant. A covenant is a promise that whatever our beliefs, we accept each other and we encourage one another in our spiritual growth. We affirm that all life has inherent value and that all life is interconnected. All existence is interconnected. Not just life, but existence, right? Today? Yeah. We strive for justice and compassion in our deeds and relationships, and we are committed to creating a welcoming community without regard to the traits that sometimes divide people. To our Zoomers, we invite you to silence your cell phones. And to our Zoomers, we invite you to say hello in the chat. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. If you're seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you will find it here. Later in the service, we will have an opportunity for you to introduce yourself if you would like to do so. Now, we would like to invite Elaine D'Orio, a member of OCU UC for 18 years, to help us light our chalice. And once she gets up here, she will take the candle, she'll light it, and we will all say our unison affirmation. So take that right there, and then light that there, and then light that there. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. This we affirm together. Thank you to the fabulous Elaine.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to open up with a song that we don't sing very often, but this goes really well with the service this morning. So please rise and body your spirit, and we'll sing number 343, A Fire, Mist, and a Planet. A fire, mist, and a planet, a crystal and a cell, a starfish and a saurian, and caves where ancients dwelt. The sense of law and beauty, a face turned from the sod. Some call it evolution, and others call it God. Gaze on the far horizon, the infinite tender sky, the ripe rich tints of cornfields, and good geese sailing high, and over high and lowland, the charm of goldenrod. Some call it velvet autumn, and others call it God. Like tides on crescent sea beach, would moon so new and then into our hearts high yearnings come welling, surging in, come from the mystic ocean whose rim no foot has trod. Some people call it home, and others call it God.
Do you sometimes want to wake up to the singularity we once were? So compact, nobody needed a bed or food or money, nobody hiding in the school bathroom or home alone, pulling open the drawer where the pills are kept. For every atom belonging to me, as good belongs to you. Remember? There was no nature, no them, no test to determine if the elephant grieves her calf or if the coral reef feels pain. Trashed oceans don't speak English or Farsi or French. Would that we could wake up to what we were. When we were ocean, and before that, to when sky was earth, and animal was energy, and rock was liquid, and stars were space, and space was not at all nothing. Before we came to believe humans were so important, before this awful loneliness. Can molecules recall it? What once was, before anything happened? No I, no we, no one, no was, no verb, no noun, only a tiny, tiny dot brimming with is, all, everything, home.
This pretty planet spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around, all through the night, safe till the morning light. This pretty planet spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. This pretty planet spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. This pretty planet spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. This pretty planet spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. This pretty planet spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. This pretty planet spinning through space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place.
So I know that many of you know that we are made of star stuff. All the atoms and molecules, all the parts of us are made of the same stuff that make up the stars. And in our Time for All Ages this morning, the author reminds us that we're all made of matter, and that means we matter.
All Because You Matter, written by Tammy Charles, illustrated by Brian Collier. They say that matter is all things that make up the universe: energy, stars, space. If that's the case, then you, dear child, matter. Long before you took your place in this world, you were dreamed of, like a knapsack full of wishes, carried on the backs of your ancestors as they created empires, pyramids, legacies. Building, inventing, working beneath red-hot suns and cold blue moons, thinking of you years ahead, because to them you always mattered. On the night you were born, stars sprayed across the sky, each one full of light, hope, love, and all the moments in your life that would matter. Like your first steps, bare feet planted on cold floor, hobbling, wobbling, toppling, only to stand and try again. Or your first words spoken almost like a lullaby, notes climbing a ladder to the sky, Mama, Papa, Mahal Kita, or the first time you opened a book, like a mirror staring back at you and really saw yourself, same hair, same skin, same dreams. The words and pictures coming together like sweet jam on toast, Musica blasting through barrios, sun and blue sky, all because you matter. But in galaxies far away, it may seem that light does not always reach lonely planets, covered moons, stars unseen, as if matter no longer exists. And just like moons hidden in the dark, there will be times when you too will question your place in the universe. Like the time you'll hear the teacher call your name, Husam Uzumaka Urdenis, and the whispers and giggles begin, followed by, "What kind of name is that?" Or the time you'll see a letter, big, bold, read on the page, and you will question if you and your work and your effort matter. Or the time when your pop-pop turns on the news and you see people everywhere. Take a breath, take a stand, take a knee. And you hear Pop-Pop's whispered prayers as another name is called, Trayvon, Tamir, Philando, and you wonder if they or you will ever matter. But did you know that you do? Did you know that you were born from queens, chiefs, legends? Did you know that you are the earth, that strength, power, and beauty lie within you? Did you know that you are sun rays, calm like ocean waves, tough like montañas, magic like stars in space? And on the day the universe was created, you were thought of, dreamed of, carried like a knapsack full of wishes as planets, stars, moons took their places, making room for you, your people, their dreams, your future, all because, since the beginning of time, you mattered, they mattered, we matter, and always will.
Dragoon Pearson up here to light our children's chalice, and then we will sing our children out to their religious education classes.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious love. We hold you in our love as you go.
Our reading this morning comes from this guy named Brian Swim, who is a professor of philosophy, cosmology, and consciousness. How's that for a degree? He said, I had just finished my lecture on Einstein's special theory of relativity. The mathematical equations filled the blackboards, but I still had 20 minutes to spare. Perhaps I galloped through the details too fast. I tended to over-prepare for this course since I was loaded with some of the best students on campus, including Una Fitzgerald, who scored a perfect 1600 on her SATs. I could have ended the class right there, but instead I opened the class for questions. Una Fitzgerald raised her hand, her round, freckled face smiling. "What's the meaning of life?" she asked. This evoked some tentative laughter, and she smiled as if she might be joking, but she faced me and waited. It would have been simple enough to avoid her question with a light remark, but I wanted to honor her sincerity. I remembered my mentor's response to the same question I had asked years earlier. His irritated reply, "Science doesn't deal with meaning," left me feeling foolish, as if no real scientist would ask such a question. As I reflected on Una's question, the strangest feeling arose in me. The students could see I had taken the question to heart. I told the students that what I thought was an important truth, that almost none of us know our true identity. Just as amazing, we forgot that we did not know our true identity. This strange situation came from the tiny worlds in which we live. We thought of ourselves as Americans or Chinese, as Republicans or Democrats, as believers or atheists. Each of these identities might be true, but each is a secondary truth. There is a deeper truth. We are universe. The universe made us. In a most primordial way, we are cosmological beings. I told the students, begin with the primal light discovered in 1964 by Penzias and Wilson. This light, this cosmic microwave background radiation, proof of the Big Bang theory, arrives here from all directions. We know that each of these photons comes from a place near the origin of the cosmos. So if we trace these particles of light backward, we are led to the birthplace of the universe, which means since this light comes from all directions, that we have discovered our origin in a colossal sphere of light. This colossal sphere, 14 billion light years away from us in every direction, is the origin of our universe, and thus the origin of each of us. I continued, if you want to know the meaning of life, look at your hand. Energy flows through your skin and bones, without which you would freeze to stone. That flow of energy in your hand came from the beginning of time. Your hand grew out of the colossal sphere like a flower rising up from topsoil. No one in the history of humanity knew that the expansion and contraction of the universe transformed primal atoms into stars and galaxies. Nor did any person know the quantum field theory and the general theory of relativity that govern this sphere of light. None of the sages or kings had the slightest notion of any of this. But now, we know the mathematical dynamics by which the universe brought itself forth. Those same dynamics are coursing through each of us. The universe creativity is happening now. The exact same dynamics are at work. Our bodies churn with creativity rooted in the beginning of time. At that moment, I felt the simple truth more deeply than I ever had in the past. I was the colossal sphere. All of us were. We were rooted in the cosmic microwave radiation. We were the primal atoms speaking of our 14 billion year existence. We were the primal atoms speaking of our 14 billion year existence. Surprise, that's your identity. I want to take a moment this morning in the spirit of meditation, if you want to soften your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, and take a moment and see if you can remember your true identity. We are the primal atoms speaking of our 14 billion year existence. When you're ready, please join in singing.
The
Yes, I know that's not a picture of the universe up there. It's a beautiful picture of one of the alpine lakes in the Cascade Mountains. Years ago, back in I think it was in my early 30s, I was up there hiking in the northern Cascades up to one of those alpine lakes with a friend of mine. And I remember it was an absolutely gorgeous summer day, right? The water was crystal clear and calm. The wildflowers were out, the high peaks were all around us. It was just one of those days that you will always remember. I remember we sat by the side of the lake, silently eating our lunch and taking in this incredible beauty of the place. I had noticed that way on the other side of the lake, way down the lake from me, there was a person down there who was kind of staring at the water kind of intently, like this. Seems like he was almost like really in tune with the lake. And then I saw him pick up a rock, and he kind of gently tossed it into the water, and I heard this plop off in the distance. And the man just stood there watching the ripples in the lake. First I was like, why in the world is this guy throwing rocks in this lake? It's so beautiful and so serene. But he seems so deeply in tune with it, focused on it, watching the beauty of those ripples float across the lake. And I have to admit, I've done this before too. Have you ever gone to a lake and just tossed a rock in just to see those beautiful ripples go out there? Now, interestingly enough, I've been learning about the Webb Telescope. Maybe some of you have been following it. I've been absolutely fascinated by this telescope that went up and the images that are coming back. And this story is what came to mind as I started learning about the James Webb Space Telescope. I know that's kind of an odd connection, but bear with me, I'll get there. But first I want you to know a few things about the Webb Telescope and our universe, because we've come really far in our knowledge. You know, not long ago we thought that maybe stars were gods, or maybe it's the place where gods went to rest. But we were wrong. And then not long ago we thought that the Earth revolved around the sun and that we were sort of the center of the universe. But we were wrong. And not long ago we thought our galaxy was the universe. We thought that was it. I remember even growing up with some of that. But we were wrong. And not long ago, we thought that the universe was just static, like it had always been the way that it is. But we were wrong. And until a few months ago, we thought that galaxies formed about 350 million years after the Big Bang. But we were wrong. Our model is changing. It's actually about 100 million years. A little bit of a difference, right? That's one of the most recent discoveries that the Webb Telescope has given us. It's changing our model of the universe. We know things now about our universe that the sages and the kings and the saints and the sinners of old could not even grasp. I like to think as we're slowly waking up to who we really are. And the more we wake up to understanding our universe, the more we become ourselves. And oddly enough, what's even more amazing is the Webb Telescope is helping us wake up to ourselves. I know that's a little bit out there. I'm getting a little woo-woo science on you today. All right, let me explain. One of the things to understand is that those images you see on the Webb Telescope, they're actually not real. Interesting enough. They're not fake. They're not bad or they're not untrue. Rather, they're constructs from mathematics. They're mathematical formulations made into art. That is, if we were to take a spaceship and go out to that area and see what was there, what they show us is not what we would see. The data is real, but the pretty picture is technically not real. This is some of the beautiful pictures that we see from the Webb Telescope. Technically not real, and yet they are. And I'll explain in just a minute. This is what the data actually looks like, even when it's been cleaned up a little bit. Thrilling, huh? Your eyes glaze over a little bit. Oh, Sean's going to show us a graph. Yay. This is not exactly artistic masterpiece, unless maybe you're a scientist. But we have to remember that mathematics is the language of light. It's the language of the universe. And this graph is how I tend to think of scientists, right? People concerned with data, numbers, and cold hard facts. None of that woo-woo stuff. But what the Webb Telescope is teaching me is that scientists are deeply spiritual beings. They just use a different language. I think it's hard for us to think of numbers and graphs as light or anything spiritual, but I'll remind you something that Carl Sagan once said, that wonderful scientist Carl Sagan. He said, science is not only compatible with spirituality, it is a profound source of spirituality. When we recognize our place in an immensity of light years and in the passage of ages, when we grasp the intricacy, beauty, and subtlety of life, then that soaring feeling, that sense of elation and humility combined is surely spiritual. So our emotions in the presence of great art or music or literature or acts of exemplary selfless courage, such as those of Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr., the notion that science and spirituality are somehow mutually exclusive does a disservice to both. So, prior to the Webb Telescope, we had the Hubble Telescope. You all probably heard about that one, and it gave us some wonderful pictures. But this is the difference between them, the Hubble and the telescope. So on the left, and you can see there's all this dust around it, right? We couldn't see what was behind all of that space dust. It's sort of like if you've ever driven at night and you've got those lights coming at you, you can't see what's behind the lights, right? That kind of makes you blind. That's because visible light, which is what most of what Hubble telescope actually takes pictures of, is a visible light. The Hubble, or the James Webb telescope, does something different. So if you see, this is the whole range of light waves. We don't think of them, we think of light as something that we can see, but these are actually all the range of light waves. And that little rainbow there, that little sliver of rainbow, that's the visible spectrum. The rest of it is all the other light spectrums that are out there. And you can see that Hubble did a little bit on the ultraviolet, a little bit in the infrared, but mostly just visible. But the JWST, also known as the James Webb Space Telescope, does this huge chunk of infrared that has given us whole thing so we can see behind the stars. We can see behind the dust. All right, you with me so far? So this is where it starts getting a little exciting, if you ask me. All right. Because people just didn't want to see just numbers and graphs. They wanted to see the beauty and the wonder of the universe, that it's truly there. And we can't grasp it with numbers and abstract things, and that's what the Webb Telescope is doing. These sciences are making meaning, making beauty, making art that we can all grasp and wonder at. Because science and spirituality are both about waking up to who we really are. Both are about searching for truth, and at their best, they're about becoming our best selves. So the scientists decided to create these beautiful pictures from the data. They didn't have to do this, and it is a good marketing ploy if you want to get people interested into what's going on there, but the pictures themselves are gorgeous. We can even create different pictures depending on the different light spectrum that's there, different levels of infralight. And here's the interesting, they didn't actually stop there with pictures. There's something in us humans, that makes us want to make things come alive for us, right? Whether it's in pictures or in music, we want to touch it. We want to somehow feel it all. It's why we want to dance to music, why we want to reach out and touch art. So these two young scientists, who are also musicians, found a way to make sound from the universe. It's even got a new name. It's called soundification. So we're going to listen to our first one here. This is the sound of a black hole. If you know anything about science, you know that there's no sound in space, right? Except for you're wrong. We just can't hear it. There are sound waves, they're just so low, beyond our hearing. They actually just raised it up 72 octaves in order for us to hear it. So let's listen to this very first one. I want to just invite you into that place of meditation and just hear what maybe a black hole might sound like. It's kind of spooky. You can almost hear this in a haunted house or something like that. So if we could hear it, raising it up 72 octaves, that's what a black hole would sound like. But the scientists were interested in more and adding music to this. So they found another black hole and they used the data and assigned up sound musical notes to the data. I have no idea how this is actually done, but here's another one for you. Kind of wild, huh? I love that scientists are doing this. It just makes me so happy. I don't know, there's something about us desiring to make something tangible for us to see that expresses the beauty and grandeur, the wonder, the awe of the universe. And one of the things, some people have kind of like poo-pooed these sounds as like, oh, come on, they're not real sounds, right? But one thing that's been really interesting is that people who are sight impaired love it because they get to experience the universe in a whole nother way that they've never been able to do before. The thing is, scientists don't have to create beautiful pictures or create beautiful music. We don't need to discover the truths of our universe, but we do it anyways. That just makes me want to go, why? Right? Why do we do this? Why do we put pretty pictures up? Why do we make beautiful music? Why would someone throw a rock into a beautiful lake and watch the ripples? To me, they're very similar, and it has to do with wonder. Wonder, I think, is that mixture of awe and curiosity, but it's about waking up. It's about recognizing who we really are. Maybe that's why our eyes grow wide, right? When we encounter something that's wonderful, right? We're waking up. It's in those moments of wonder that I think we remember who we really are. We want to reach out, we want to touch it, we want to make it real inside of us. That we are more than just data and numbers, more than flesh and bone, that we can begin to remember who we truly are. We are the primal atoms speaking of our 14 billion year existence. We are star stuff. So we express it through any way that we can, so we can touch the memory, through ripples in a pond, through beauty, through music, expressions of our true selves, our best selves. That we're part of this matter of the universe, that we matter, that we've mattered since the beginning of time. And if only we could wake up and remember that this earth we live on is full of wonders too, that this pretty planet is precious to us. That alpine lakes can be moments of revelation when you realize that someone is trying to touch beauty by putting a rock in the water. You know, right now we're entering the season of wonder, right? It's a season we try to make tangible the things that are important to us, whether it's love, kindness, generosity. And we create beauty around us in decorations. We sing songs that are special for the occasion. We make beautiful music. We give gifts, tangible things that show our love and our generosity. We spend time with those that we care about, sharing stories, hugging one another, reminiscing. So you're invited this season of wonder to notice around you all the ways we make tangible beauty, love, and generosity. And I want to leave you with these words by Jay Wolin. When I look up into the night sky, I am in awe of all that is. There is a faraway galaxy. A star has died, yet it's still bright for my eyes to see and make a wish upon. When I walk in the ocean, I feel the waves rush across my feet, and I feel a certain peace with the world. I peer out into the endless horizon, knowing they came from a place beyond where I can see. When I sit around the fire, I feel its warmth enter me without ever touching me, and I feel safe from the unknown. Wherever I am, I take in a breath, and I know I am in the present moment. All of these wonders that move us and make us feel alive and make us dream and make us wonder, let us protect them so that my children, our children, everyone's children, my grandchildren, our grandchildren, everyone's grandchildren, for generations upon generations, will also have the chance to look beyond the horizon and marvel at the wonder of existence and continue to be nourished by our home, the earth. Let us sing.
Please rise in body or spirit as we sing one of our favorite songs here, Blue Boat Home. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never care or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lands of the heavens in a beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon a fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat
Yeah, I could sing that one every week. Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all of the funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUUC amplifies the spirit of generosity by sharing half the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. This month we're partnering with Share Ourselves. Now, I read the slide and it looked really great, and then I looked at the website and I found out that it's not just that little dot, it's a universe. And the universe that it is a universe that had patient visits in 2021 of 49,400. It also gave out bags of groceries in 2021, 71,600 bags of groceries, and 1,200 backpacks distributed filled with school supplies, and 7,900 families and individuals provided with comfort during the 2021 holiday season. This is a universe of help for people that really need it. So please be generous. There are multiple ways in which you can be generous. You can support this church and this organization by mailing in a check. You can go through our website. You can use an app called Vanco Mobile. The choice is yours. All the information is on this website should you need it. As always, thank you for your generosity.
The fairest one in sight, we grant your loftiness the right to some obscurity of Christ. It will not do to say of night, since dark is what brings out your light. Some mystery becomes a crowd, but to behold it as eternal in your reserve is not allowed. Say something to us we can learn by heart, and when alone we and the song that puts our intentions into words and expresses our gratitude for the many gifts we share. We gather together, we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We give from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share.
Now is that time when we honor the important events and people in our lives, and you are invited, one and all, whether you're a member, a friend, or a visitor, to participate in this weekly ritual we call Joys and Sorrows. And I'd like to invite Lori Kluge up here to join us. She's one of our pastoral care team members, and she will be assisting you. So if you came here today holding something deep in your heart, some profound joy or sorrow, and you would like to honor that, you are invited to do so. If you're a roomer here in the room, you're invited to come forward and light a candle. If you'd like to share your joy or sorrow out loud, you can write it on a slip of paper that you may have been given when you first came in, or the ushers have them here. And when you're ready, just as you come forward, light your candle and then hand me your joy or sorrow. And the Zoomers, you can light a candle at home. You can also just simply put your joy or sorrow in the chat, and then I'll read them out loud, and Lori will then light a candle. You can also simply request to have a candle lit for you. Once the roomers have done lighting their candles, I'll read those out loud. So as music is played, I invite you to silently offer healing or celebration as you feel called and according to your own beliefs. Please come forward to light your candle. So Laura, if you could light a candle for Linda and Fred Fenton. They express a joy, they sent me an email to express a joy that the Defense of Marriage Act passed the Senate in a 61-36 vote. Yay. And Peggy, she's asked to have a candle lit because she's thankful that her son, who dislocated his elbow, will not need surgery after all. He'll start physical therapy soon. And Matthew Patterson, he said he has both a candle of joy and concern. The joy is that he found at least a temporary job as a tax info verification specialist starting in mid-January. He said also it's finals week at Fullerton College, and I've had a very successful semester. And the concern is it's finals week at Fullerton College. And he says, I have so much work to finish and a couple of big tests to take in that time. He says, I'm so stressed. Please light a candle and keep me and my husband Alex in your thoughts. So, and Jan M says it was joy, candle of joy. It was awesome watching Beth play piano at Orange Coast College last night. So much fun watching the new students sing. Right on. All right, and then I've got here in the room, let's see, Meg lit a candle of joy. She says, huge joy because her daughter and friends have invited her to tonight's live performance of, I can't remember his first name, Andrea Bocelli. This is her first Christmas present. Ooh, it's a Christmas month, isn't it? Yes, nice. And Sandy Martin lit a candle of joy because today, she says, is her daughter Melissa Soden's birthday. The flowers are in celebration of her birth. Happy birthday to Melissa. And Barbara and Steve M. Lit a candle of joy, the joyful arrival of their grandson, Ren. He arrived, was born this past Tuesday. He joins his lovely mom, dad, who's their son and big sister, and we're so happy for them. We're happy for you all as well. And Jonathan Magoon Pearson, he says he had lit a candle of sorrow for his wife because Tuesday is the 10-year anniversary of the passing of Karen's mother, Ann. She left too soon, and she's missed every day. And Dave C., he lit a candle of concern. He says, my dear friend, let's call him Bud because that's his name. He says his cancer has metastasized into his bones. So please keep Bud in your healing thoughts. And we sure will. I'm sorry, Dave. Well, we also have a sort of a special couple of joys to be celebrating this morning. Where is Nancy? Our president is here to tell you about these two particular joys.
So this is something we've not done before, but being a database geek, I was looking in our database and I realized that yesterday was the 50th anniversary of Jean Chris's signing the book as a member. And so we are very grateful to her. And when I was telling Shirley Thorne last week, you better be here because Jean's going to come, she said, well, I've been a member longer than that. And Shirley had time out for gone behavior, so it didn't show up in the database that way. Some of you know about that. But we are also honoring Shirley today. So.
Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. I just want to say how grateful I am that this community has been around so long. I'm happy to be around so long, but I'm really, really thankful that this Unitarian Universalist community exists in this place and this time. I just can't tell you how full my heart is because everyone is here.
Awesome.
I just wanted to say that I'm just delighted to be here. The reason we're here is because when my children were little, they would come home and say about their next door neighbors that we were all going to hell. And the reason being that they were going to the Catholic Church and we were not going to the Catholic Church. So my ex-husband looked it up and found the Unitarian Church, and I've never turned back.
And I want to remind you all that we also, because of course, in the grand tradition of this congregation, in celebration of these two amazing women and their incredible longevity with this church, we have cake. Yes. Thank you all. Let us hold in love all the joys and celebrations and all the hurts and sadness, both spoken and silent. Let our joys remind us to be thankful. Let our concerns remind us to hope, and our sorrows remind us to connect with one another. Let all these moments remind us we're not alone. Please join Lori in a spirit of prayer.
Arizona State Representative Juan Mendez delivered the opening prayer for the Arizona legislature with these words back in 2013. Most prayers in this room begin with a request to bow your heads. I would like to ask you not to bow your heads. I would like to ask you take a moment to look around the room at all of the people here in this moment, sharing together this extraordinary experience of being alive. This is a room in which there are many challenges, debates, many moments of tension, of ideological division, of frustration. But this is also a room where, as my secular humanist tradition stresses, by the very fact of being human, we have much more in common than we have differences. We share the same spectrum of potential for care, for compassion, for fear, for joy, for love. As Carl Sagan once said, for small creatures such as we are, the vastness of the universe is bearable only through love.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We're a congregation made up of people who all believe differently, and yet when we gather together, whether we are in the room or we are on Zoom, we make up one loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. If you're a guest, a visitor, who's someone who has not yet been known to us, I invite you to become a part of this beloved community. We encourage you to either write in the chat if you're a Zoomer, or if you're a roomer, to stand for just a brief moment and tell us your name and where you're from, and we will bring a microphone to you so that our Zoomers can hear your name as well. Is there anyone in the chat? Okay. Well, just in case you're new and you wouldn't say so. If you'd like to know more about our church, including programming for our youth and children, please contact us at hello@ocuc.org, and we will help you get connected. In addition, we invite you to sign up for our weekly email called The Blast at blast@ocuc.org. We want everyone to feel a part of this beloved community. So please reach out and we will help you get connected.
All right, then, of course, announcements. I do want to make an announcement. Many of you know that Monday's my day off. I have one day off a week, and I haven't been able to take a Monday off for a while now. And so I'm going to take a few days this week. So I'll be out of the office on Tuesday and Wednesday, as well as tomorrow. But I am around. So obviously, if there's any emergency or anything like that. But if you send me an email and I don't respond right away, that's why. The other thing I want to mention is that next Sunday we have a town hall meeting about our new sanctuary and where we're at, and kind of give you an update on everything. And we're even hoping to maybe have some news by then. Maybe we we don't know yet. We're still waiting for the city. Yes. All right. Trying to think. Also on Thursday we're going to deck the halls. Well, this hall in particular. If you'd like to come out and help us decorate, put up lights and some wonderful decorations, come on out at 2 o'clock on Thursday. So the last announcement that I want to make, but I have to tell you a story first. Okay, in my last congregation in South Bend, Indiana, when I served there, we had a wonderful board member who was blind, or he was going blind, and he had a absolutely gorgeous German Shepherd seeing eye dog. His name was Baron. And you all know how much I love dogs, right? And I had to learn to sit on my hands and not go up to him and go, "Oh, what a cute little guy. Oh, you're so gorgeous." Yeah, I had to make sure I didn't do that because he's a working dog, right? Well, the reason why I want to tell you this story is that one of our staff, our wonderful Avery back there in audio, also has a working dog that will be joining us next week. And oh my gosh, she's so gorgeous. It's going to be really hard, but we must sit on our hands because there is a certain etiquette. Because Bella is working, right? We need to make sure we need to act like the dog isn't there. I know that's hard. It's going to be hard for me. We can do this. We can do this. So don't touch her or distract the dog. And if you can move a little bit out of the way, give a little bit more room for things. This is for any type of God dog. And any other thing is because Avery's disability is invisible, we don't need to know, do we? We just love Avery. Avery's awesome. So, yeah. So we wanted to give you a heads up because this gorgeous little dog is going to be here next week. We'll breathe, right? All right. I will say that in South Bend, Rich had an auction item, which was Pet Baron Day. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm just putting that out there, Avery, okay? Just putting it out there. All right. Let us join Beth in singing our benediction. They have a special one today.
This one is to go along with the starry service today. Go lifted up, love bless your way, moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day.
All right, everyone, please wake up and know that you matter. This service is over. Let our service continue.